faculty and everybody involved in the nursing program, because there's so much work that goes into getting where you guys are, and we're so proud of you. So we're so happy that we get to do this for you guys. My name is Joanna Perry, and I'm the director of the practical nursing program here at New River. So I'd just like to take just a moment to introduce our guests and faculty. We have the president of the college, Dr. Bonnie Copenhagen, here with us this evening. Dr. Wendy Patrickman, which is the Dean for Transfer and Pre-Professional Programs. Dwayne Napier, Director of the LPN to RN Bridge Program. And we have a special guest this evening, Heather Tolley, which is the West Virginia delegate for the 41st District. She's a special friend to nursing. She's actually a nurse herself, and we're very proud of her. Our faculty, Karen Oxer, she's the lead instructor for the Nicholas County campus. Cassandra Sturgill, lead instructor for the Raleigh County campus. Denise Poe, lead instructor for the Greenbrier Valley campus. John Goldeisen, he's one of our instructors on the Greenbrier Valley campus. And Rebecca Waddell, she's our clinical instructor for the Greenbrier Valley campus, but she's taught almost every one of you guys, so we're glad that she was able to join us this evening. And I don't want to forget the one that keeps us all on track and keeps us all together, our administrative associate, Gina Bryan. She's here. Can you guys? We'll stick with the blue one then. Let's see if we can get it to work. Can you hear me? A little bit, maybe. So I'd like to thank all of the faculty and instructors for all the hard work and dedication this year, helping our students reach their full potential. Thank you for challenging our students, holding them to the highest standards of excellence. So I and all of the students would sincerely like to thank each of you for everything that you do for the students. So thank you so much. The graduates and I would also like to take a moment to thank all of those family members. Those husbands, wives, grandparents, siblings, children, friends, significant others who supported our graduates throughout the year, helping them to prevail and see the program to completion. We hope that support has meant to their success. I know that many of you have spent the last 11 months rooting for one or another of these graduates as they have worked so hard, made many, many sacrifices, and been so dedicated to earning their nursing degree. So we would all sincerely like to thank all of you, family members, friends, and significant others who helped our students achieve their goal of becoming a nurse. We know it's a lot of hard work, and you make a lot of sacrifices too to help them. Thank you so much. I now want to thank our amazing graduates for being so persistent, never giving up, and working so hard to make your goal of becoming a nurse a reality. It's not an easy job. It's not an easy profession. And it's not easy getting to this point, but you guys did it, and you made it. And we're so very proud of all of you. So not only did you guys conquer all your coursework, your exams, your clinicals, you did it in an unprecedented time in healthcare history. Many of our students here this evening made public health history this year by administering over 1,000 COVID vaccines to the public. We are so proud of we were able to be part of that history in making our community safer and healthier. So, good job, guys. You did it. Before we get started with the pinning ceremony, I just want to explain a little bit about the significance of the ceremony and what's kind of going on here so you can understand. The pinning ceremony is a time-honored nursing school tradition. It symbolizes over 100 years of tradition that started with our modern-day nursing instructor or educator, Florence Nightingale. The modern pinning ceremony began when Florence Nightingale presented her brightest nursing graduates with the Medal of Excellence, which is your pin. Okay? Today, that pin represents the rite of passage and the official initiation into the nursing profession. So this evening, in addition to the pin, students will also be presented with a nursing lamp. And the nursing lamp serves as a beacon of kindness, gentleness, courage, and an unwavering duty of service. Sometimes in our patients' darkest hours. Students and nurses will also recite the Nightingale Pledge to vow to carry out her ideals and values as they move forward in their nursing careers. So I just wanted to give everyone a little bit of history or background on the pinning ceremony because it is such a special time for nursing students and nurses. So now for our pinning address, I'd like to welcome Mr. Dwayne Nathan to the podium.
I may not need that. I'm told I'm very loud. Can you hear me back there? Huh? Yep, we can try it. How about this? Okay. So, President Copenhaver, Dean Patrickland, Director Perry, Delegate Tully, faculty, staff, families, and most importantly, our graduates. It's my pleasure to be here to bring greetings and best wishes on the occasion of your pinning. So this is it. This is what you've worked for. And I always find it challenging to come up with the appropriate words to say on occasions such as this. The families who are here would like us to say something that is somewhat sentimental. The faculty would prefer comments that are inspiring. And the graduates, those that we honor today, want a speech that's short. So I'm going to do my best and find an appropriate and short compromise here. So kind of bear with me. I like to tell stories. So in preparing my remarks for today, I thought back about my pinning ceremony over 36 years ago. And I tried to remember who the speakers were. I tried to remember what they said. And I have to tell you, I found some comfort in the fact that number one, I don't have any idea who the speakers were. And number two, I don't have a clue what they said either. So we're going to go from there. And so that lesson that I took from this little trip down memory lane was that I can relax about talking to you today, since whatever I say, you are unlikely to remember for any significant amount of time. So, with this in mind, I'd like to share very briefly some thoughts on three themes that will undoubtedly play themselves out throughout the next few weeks of your lives. Passages, caring, and celebration. So while I was in nursing school, I often felt as if I were in temporary holding state. And when at last I graduated, I would finally get to start my life for real. And I expect that more than one of you will mark this event today as one of the rites of passages that will allow you to start your life for real. So let me tell you that this is a passage, but I dare say it is only one of many. Your life will change as you bid farewell to New River, but you will experience many other passages. Life is an exciting event filled with meaning, and I urge you to take advantage of every opportunity to live it to its fullest. And I'm more and more convinced that having gone through many passages in my life, the things I value most are the warm, caring relationships I have with the people who have passed and are passing through my life. You have had a unique opportunity during your time here, and you've touched countless lives through your care and through what you have given with love and compassion. Mother Teresa once said, "It's not how much we give, but how much love we put into giving." And I couldn't think of a more accurate testament to what you will do as nurses. In your lifetime, you will care for and touch countless lives. My hope for you is that you will continue to touch lives with the same love and the same compassion that you have developed, and I'm sure demonstrated as a student here at New River. With one of my former positions, I had the opportunity to travel extensively. In every place I traveled, I always tried to read the local newspapers. I scanned the front pages, but what I was after was what was inside the newspaper. And I wanted to see what the locals were doing and what they were thinking about what was going on in the world. So several years ago, when I was in Boston, Massachusetts, I read a story that appeared in the Boston Herald. And it was written by Beverly Beckham. And Beverly is not a nurse, but someone, as you will soon see, who has a lot of insight into nursing. And I want to share with you her article that she wrote in the Boston Herald as a response to an article she read in the Boston Globe. And in the Boston Globe, the article that Beverly read was entitled "Critical Care: When Nurses Steal Drugs on the Job." So, critical care, when nurses steal drugs on the job, this was the front page story on the headline of the Boston Globe. And it also came with one of those pretty colored charts that they put in newspapers and articles. And I'm going to tell you, when you read that headline and you see that chart, you know, people are going to think, yeah, nurses are stealing drugs. But all nurses, of course, are not stealing drugs. Most are working their 12-hour shifts, going home, then showing up for another day to get the job done. And it's a job you couldn't pay most people to even think about doing. So, but what kind of headline would this make? Nurses tending to the country's neediest. Who's going to read that? Nobody. There's no excitement there. It certainly is not going to win a Pulitzer Prize. So, what Beverly wrote in her article is this: nurses, the kind who never make headlines, took care of my mother when she was in a coma. They took care of my mother-in-law when she had her legs amputated, and my husband when he had open heart surgery, and my son when he had a bone infection, and my daughter when she had surgery, and even me when I was a child. And caring in the nursing profession takes its toll on people because people don't always get better. Many get worse. And nurses care for them and about them in spite of this. My mother-in-law was able to live out her life in her home because of visiting nurses. They didn't just divide her pills up into those plastic 7 days of the week cases. They explained what each pill was for. They taught her how to give herself insulin shots. They changed the dressings on her feet. And then after she had her legs amputated, first one and then the other a year later, she had a hard time at first, but the nurses worked with her and encouraged her, and she did really well afterwards. They didn't just talk to her. They also listened. Then they went on to someone else's house to do the very same thing. The night she died, a nurse on duty at the hospital who had met her just the week before, that nurse, practically a stranger, prayed with us and cried with us. And then 2 days later, she came to my mother-in-law's wake. The news more and more focuses on all the bad people do, and the bad follows us around like the moon. It's everywhere. But there's the other side of the moon, and it's just as real, and it's bigger. But it's hidden. The way what good nurses do is hidden. Done out of the spotlight, where only the sick are housed, and where the healthy do not venture unless they are forced to. A nurse, this is still Beverly in her article, a nurse sat next to me all night when I was 16 and had my tonsils out. It was a really simple procedure, except that something ruptured. And a nurse, whose face I don't remember, and whose name I never knew, saved me from bleeding to death. No headline there, just a nurse doing her job. In all the histrionic stories newspapers tell, hyperbole is supported by the authors, clinicians, and professors. In the case of nurses, however, patients are the real experts knowing what nurses do. Again, Beverly, for 4 years, Sal Grasso was a patient at New England Sinai Hospital. He couldn't move anything except his eyes. And nurses kept him alive. They tried hard. They were always under pressure, and he spelled out with his eyes in the computer what he needed and what he wanted. And hospitals are full of people like Mr. Grasso. Someone always has to be turned, fed, changed, gotten up into a chair, taken out of the chair, put back in bed. And nurses are the ones who do this. On their days off, some nurses stop by the hospital with their kids for a visit because children cheer up the place. Some volunteer to go out with patients who can't go out without a nurse. The Globe, the Boston Globe, got the critical part of the headline right. It's critical what nurses do to care. Fortunately for us, most do. So what a statement to what nurses do by a regular person who knows how vital caring is. And I urge you to remember her words and remember what an impact you can have on other people. But caring doesn't just stop when you leave your work. I'd also invite you to look at care from the broader perspective. Let's say the view from the balcony looking out over your life. So what I encourage you to do is care for yourself. Nurture your interests outside of nursing and continue to learn to care for the rest of your life. Respect yourself, promote your own health while you are caring for others. Care for your family and friends. I dare say that when many of us are students, we make many more withdrawals from the bank of family and friends than we make deposits. So now is your chance to repay your caring. Whether it's through a simple thank you, a word of encouragement, or a hand offered in assistance, your actions and your care will be noticed, and it will be appreciated, and will carry on long after you've gone. Care also for your community, be a good citizen of the world, and William James once said that the great use of life is to spend it for something that will outlast it. At no other time in our history as nurses do we need to create something that will outlast us. We need to create our legacy for the future. Get out into your community. Talk about nursing. Talk about what you do. But most importantly, talk about what you care about and what you are passionate about. And finally, when people like Mrs. Beckham show what nurses do every day, say loudly and clearly, thank you. These are the things to value, and I strongly encourage you to measure your success in this life by the quality of care you give to those around you. And so this brings me to the third theme, that of celebration. If you've been paying attention, you'll know I'm getting close to the end. And I want you to know we are not here to celebrate the event of your pinning. We are here to celebrate you. Also, too often, we focus on the event. But then again, this event, these moments will soon pass, like they did for me, and I'm sure many others. The details of these events will fade quickly in your memories, and they are not the real stuff that we are here to celebrate. We are here to celebrate your work, your effort, your cleverness, your integrity, and even your good fortune when your instructor asks just the right question on the test for which you knew the answer. Again, this is not Pulitzer Prize stuff, but it is you, all of you, who bring us here today, and it is you and those who will follow you who will continue to make this nursing program a great place to learn and care. It is you and those who follow you who will shape nursing for the future. So it is you whom we celebrate today. And I thank you for asking me to be your guest speaker on this special day. And please know that we will always be here for you. And congratulations, and I wish you the best of luck in your journey as a nurse. Thank you.
Okay, before we get to the pinning and the lighting of the lamp and all of that, we have a few awards that I want to recognize some students for. We have an award for the highest grade point average, and we also have awards for the clinical students of the year. The academic student of the year is the student who graduated with the highest grade point average. And that student is Samantha McBride from the Raleigh County campus. Congratulations, Samantha. Such a great accomplishment. So proud of you. That is a lot of hard work. Congratulations. Because the highest grade point average and the person with the second highest grade point average was only separated by 0.03 this year, we felt like that we should give recognition to that student for the second highest grade point average, and that student is Jewel Gentry in the Raleigh County campus. Congratulations, Jewel. Hard work. Lots of hard work goes into that. The clinical students of the year are those students who were chosen by the clinical faculty for providing excellent nursing care in the clinical setting. When selecting clinical students of the year, faculty consider character, kindness, integrity, work ethic, critical thinking, and clinical judgment skills. So the clinical student of the year for the Nicholas County campus is Mallory Kelly. Congratulations, Mallory. The Raleigh County Clinical Student of the Year is Bridget Gray. The Greenbrier Clinical Student of the Year is Emily Boston. And I must go on to say that Emily was our peer tutor this year. She tutored many of our students to success. So I want to say a special thank you to Emily for her kindness and her tutoring work with all the students. And also, she never missed a day. Never missed a day of clinical, never missed a day of class. Congratulations. Okay, so we're ready for pinning. Dr. Copenhagen, if you'd like to come up. And we're going to start with the Greenbrier County students. So if Greenbrier faculty would like to come up to the table.
While they're getting situated, just a minute, I am going to share a short little quote, and I think this is going to tie in really well with what Mr. Napier said to you, but this is a quote about nursing that I heard several years ago at a pinning ceremony, as a matter of fact. But it says, you're going to be there when a lot of people are born and when a lot of people die. In every culture, such moments are regarded as sacred and private, made special only by a divine presence. No one on earth would be welcome, but you're personally invited. What an honor that is. And my congratulations to you all. And may you find your honor and your sacred moments as you practice your new profession. So with that, from the Greenbrier cohort, Emily Bostick. Maggie Bostick. Jason Dodd. James Hoffer. And Maggie Page. And moving on to the Nicholas County cohort. Joni Castile. Mackenzie Chambers. Katrina Dodrell. And now the Raleigh County cohort. Oh, I apologize. Tammy White. I am so sorry. Got ahead of myself. Now Raleigh County. Zach Barker. Tiffany Black. Rebecca Bakari. Jewel Gentry. Bridget Gray. Samantha McBride. Holly McCoy. Tamara Moore. Murphy. And Thomas Putter.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? So we're going to recite the Nightingale Pledge, and then we're going to have some closing remarks by Delegate Foley, and that will finish up our ceremony for this evening. So if there are any nurses in the audience, you guys, the Nightingale Pledge is inside your program. If you'd like to recite it with us. You guys ready? Okay, here we go. I solemnly pledge myself before God and in the presence of this assembly to pass my life in purity and to practice my profession faithfully. I will abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous and will not take or knowingly administer any harmful drug. I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession, and will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping and all family affairs coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling. With loyalty will I endeavor to aid the physician in his work and devote myself to the welfare of those committed to my care. Delegate Foley, you guys come up.
Good news. I'm probably going to be less long-winded than Mr. Napier, so that's something positive, right? I did want to thank you all for sharing your evening with me. As Professor Perry mentioned, I am a nurse. I have a bachelor's from the University of Charleston. I have a master's from West Virginia University. And I also have a stop in New River in between those two, which is a unique path to take. I do have a technical certificate from New River, so I've sat in those seats as well. We are very, very proud of you. You are getting ready to embark on an endeavor of your lifetime. It will be an adventure. When I thought about what I was going to have to do, what I wanted to say to you, and you are right, you do try to find profound words. But what I really thought about is that some of the things that I wish somebody would have reminded me, maybe when I was getting ready to start my career. I am very, very proud to be a nurse. I worked at the bedside for almost 14 years before going back to be a nurse practitioner. I would still be in the ICU at the bedside if staffing were better. So that is one of my patient advocacy and safe staffing are two of my major concerns. I want to work on retention issues, not only recruitment and getting you here, but wanting to keep you here in West Virginia, working at the bedside or in your chosen field, wherever you choose to be. So that is my goal. The first thing I'm going to tell you is don't be afraid to change your mind and explore whatever fits your personality best. A Not every job is going to be matched for everybody, so you're going to have to choose your area of interest. Mine was critical care. Yours may, some people like OB, some people like OR. That is one thing about nursing. There is an endless variety of possibilities. Don't be afraid to, and if you start somewhere, don't be afraid, maybe not quickly, but if you really feel in your heart it's not for you, don't be afraid to explore the profession and make a change. Find your friend. You will make so many wonderful friends and acquaintances, and they will end up being lifelong friends when you start your career. Keep those people close because you're going to need them. They will be your source of encouragement when things are tough on the units. You'll need them right there by your side. It's always wonderful to have a coworker or a few coworkers that you know, like you work as a team and you can depend on each other. It's very important. Be true to yourself. If something something isn't right in your heart, don't be afraid to speak up. Go about it in the appropriate manner, but make sure you will develop that nursing instinct. It's a little gnawing feeling in your gut that tells you something isn't right. You'll know it when you feel it. Don't be afraid to speak up and advocate for that patient or the situation if you know something isn't quite as it should be. Make sure that you know all your regulations and rules, your Nurse Practice Act, your legislative rules for practice of nursing, the ANA Code of Ethics, any type of specialty unit that you work on. There's a lot of standards that go along with that. Know all of those because they can be your best friend. Learn your facilities, policies, and procedures because they will keep you out of trouble. And learn how to appropriately, if there's a concern within your facility, advocate for those patients. The patient safety hotline, or there are outside agencies that you can also, if there's something critically wrong in your unit and you think that it's going to be a detriment to your patient and you can't get it addressed through chain of command, there's always ways to address it. We are so very proud of you. My door at the Capitol is open for you, and I thank you all, and I just can't wait to see you guys will do great on your input, your exams. I know it. Don't be afraid. Just go, take it, explore your jobs, make sure that they're good fits, and if I can do anything for you in the future, I'm here for you.
Thank you so much. This concludes our ceremony this evening. Again, I want to thank everybody so much for coming and helping us celebrate these students. All their accomplishments, all their hard work, all of your hard work. We all have been sitting in those same seats, so we know, it really takes a village to get here. So thank you so much.